Hi there, we're looking at Mark chapter 14, verse 27 to 42. They're sitting around the table, they've just done the Lord's Supper. Jesus says to them, "You will all fall away, for it is written, I will strike the shepherd and the sheep will be scattered. But after I've risen, I will go ahead of you into Galilee." Peter declared, "Even if all fall away, I will not." "I tell you the truth," Jesus answered, "today, yes, tonight, before the cock crows twice, you yourself will disown me 3 times." But Peter insisted emphatically, "Even if I have to die with you, I will never disown you." And all the others said the same. They went to a place called Gethsemane, and Jesus said to his disciples, "Sit here while I pray." He took Peter, James, and John along with him, and he began to be deeply distressed and troubled. "My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death," he said to them. "Stay here and keep watch." Going a little further, he fell to the ground and prayed that if possible the hour might pass from him. "Abba, Father," he said, "everything is possible for you. Take this cup from me, yet not what I will, but what you will." Then he returned to his disciples and found them sleeping. "Simon," he said to Peter, "are you asleep? Could you not keep watch for 1 hour? Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the body is weak." Once more he went away and prayed the same thing. When he came back, he again found them sleeping, because their eyes were heavy. They did not know what to say to him. Returning the 3rd time, he said to them, "Are you still sleeping and resting? Enough, the hour has come. Look, the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us go. Here comes the betrayer." And just as I'm reading that, there's a little bit of emotion coming up, and kind of mixed emotion. The one emotion is angry at the disciples, like, how can you be asleep? This is the moment where Jesus needs you the most. Or he's about to be arrested, he's going to be put before the crowds, he's going to have everyone turn against him, he's going to be crucified and experience one of the worst deaths imaginable. And that sense of indignation. How could you leave him? You losers, you guys suck. And the other part of emotion is just knowing that the likelihood is that I'm there, that I would have done the same. How many times when I'm praying do I end up falling asleep? How many times do I have good intentions to follow God and end up short of the mark? The spirit is willing, but the body is weak. And so I have to be careful with being too harsh on the disciples, because I know the likelihood, especially in such a crisis time, especially when things have been so hectic, is that I'll be falling asleep along with them and just not really understanding what was going on. I think maybe if they understood a little bit more, maybe they would have tried a little bit harder or something like that. The story begins with Peter making this declaration: "I will stay with you, Jesus, whatever. If everyone else falls away, even if I have to die, I'll stay with you." And just once again, his mouth working a little bit faster than his brain, or maybe his body, because we know how the story finishes. And Jesus putting him in his place and maybe reminding him to be slow to speak, Peter. And that message will only hit him later after he has denied him. But be careful what you declare. Be careful what you promise. Be careful. Let your word be your bond. So be careful about making declarations in life about things that you can't keep, and maybe it was physically impossible for them to hold on to. I don't know. But just be slow to make great promises and bold statements. Let's use words like "I want," and "I'm trying to," and "I hope to." When people ask me to pray for them, that's what I say, because as much as I love praying for people, my brain and my memory are bad, and unless I write it down and make a note, and even I have a folder on my desktop on my computer, I forget to look at it. And so I stopped years ago from telling people I'll pray for them unless I'm absolutely sure. What I say to people is, look, I'm going to try pray for you. I'm really going to try and make an effort and do it. And usually that's enough to make me remember, but sometimes I still forget. But let's be true to our word. Let's be careful about what we say. And just the whole thing of Jesus, in that moment of need, we reminded again that he calls Abba, Father, Daddy, God, the most kind of intimate way of praying to God, like a little child with his dad. And even in that moment, Jesus being absolutely overwhelmed, he knows he's going to die, but he says, "God, take this away, but only if you want to, only if you can, only if there's another way. I know this is the way it has to go." It's a prayer he probably knew the answer to, but he's still like, "God, I really don't want to do this, but I'm still completely willing. This is why I came. This is why I came to do it." And so we see kind of in Jesus this picture of incredible weakness, incredible temptation, incredible moment of just wanting to let go, but an incredible moment of resolve. We see the sense of the power of God in him, the power of the Holy Spirit in him, enabling him to be strengthened for what is to lie ahead. And maybe that is kind of the phrase and kind of the meaning that we can give to things in life. Like there might be times that are hard, there might be horrible decisions, things we have to do, going and apologizing to somebody, going and making right with an enemy, inviting an enemy to dinner, whatever it is. And it's like, God, if there's another way, please let it happen. But I'm willing to do it. If this is what you're calling me to, if this is the right thing, then I'm willing to do it. Maybe that is a place we need to get our hearts into, that kind of attitude. God, I'm going to do this, even though it is tough.